Hello YouTube, I'm Aquatic Moth. This is the Aquatic Moth channel, and you're not going to be able to see me that well because it's nighttime for my fish. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about this tank right here. Originally, it was supposed to be my betta sorority tank, but I did a little boo-boo and I ended up purchasing fish that I wanted to get sometime in the future, but they can be hard to find in stock, and when they are in stock, they usually sell out. So I decided to just throw them in here. Unfortunately, though, this tank is not set up to their needs, so I'll have to focus all of my built up energy that I was going to put into the Pacman frog tank into this tank. So it is once again very late at night, and I only see these fish during this time of the day, well, this time of the night. So I wanted to hopefully get some footage of them, and as you can see, we don't see any right now, but I see one kind of sliding there by the sponge filter back here. But anyways, guys, like I said, this tank was originally intended for a betta sorority, and I impulse bought two licorice gouramis. I had originally planned to put them in a 10-gallon tank, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. So yeah, these guys are very unique. This set is actually perfect for them. I just need to add a lot more plants in here, of course. These guys love a lot of cover. They're very, very shy fish. They're nothing like betta splendens. They're not an in-your-face active fish, as you can see. They tend to just sit in one spot. If you have a good group of them, though, they will be a little bit more active. If you have a heavier planted tank, they will be a little bit more active. I plan on purchasing at least 3 more, just so I can hopefully get a good ratio of them. The 20 long is a perfect tank for them, even though this is a very tiny fish. They're very curious. I know people have a lot of success breeding them in smaller tanks, just like you would do a betta. In my opinion, if they're a cave breeder, I think that they would do better with multiple caves, and that's what I'm trying to achieve with the scape here. And I know I'm panning around, I'm just trying to find that male. And I'm over here babysitting as well as my brother's dog, Spiky. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this very brief look at the licorice gourami. I don't want to say this is a rare fish. This is a rare fish to find for sale. You will see people offering them, but a lot of times they go out of stock very quickly. So when I got the chance to get these guys, I went ahead and purchased them. Their habitat is being destroyed, so pretty soon they might disappear from the hobby as far as coming from the wild. I don't think there is an accurate count of how many of these gourami are actually in the wild, but I do know that they can be a difficult fish to keep. I do plan on adding botanicals and getting tannins and everything for this tank. Just not like within a week or so, but not anytime that soon. I just want to see where I'm at as far as keeping these guys. They're much different than any other gourami that I've kept. Even my sparkling gouramis, they never just sat in one place like these guys do. And to be honest with you too, the sponge filter I have back here, it's way too high. I'm having difficulties controlling the air coming out of there. The current is just way too much for these guys, but I'm thinking if I plant it more, they will be much more active and I can see them during the day. And they won't hide as often, but who knows. And I tried to catch some video of that gourami. Like, I can see that gourami, but you guys can't. And it sucks. See if I can find the other one. But as I'm searching for the other one, I'll just go ahead and keep talking about these guys. I wanted to keep these guys because I feel like within the next 2 or 3 years they may not be as readily available in the hobby. And that's just because of how hard it is to breed these guys, and there's not a lot of people out here actually breeding them that can keep a good stock of them. But that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to try it. I don't feel like I'm at that level yet to successfully breed these guys, but I wanted to at least keep them. And if you watch Rachel O'Leary's care guide on licorice gouramis, particularly the species that I'm keeping, these guys should be bred if you can. Oh look, we have a snail friend in here. But I believe this is a very important fish that needs to stay in the hobby, and anyone with experience with sparkling gouramis or basically wild type bettas, anybody with experience like that should at least try to breed these guys. I would hate for these guys to absolutely disappear. Their habitat is being threatened by, I believe, logging. They're found in Asia, and a lot of their waterways are very polluted where they come from. These guys can handle a very, very low pH with absolutely no water movement, which is a common thing with licorice fish who can live in low oxygen waters. These guys tend to be found in deeper waters than where you would find bettas. And to me, they're just a very awesome little nano fish. My gouramis right now, of course, are not colored up and beautiful yet, but I'm hoping if I can get some more, put them in here, and really plant this tank, really add the tannins, really get them all fired up, I'm hoping that they'll look great in here and they won't be as shy. And of course, I'm also hoping to breed them because, like I mentioned, these guys' habitat is slowly disappearing, and I'm really hoping to be a contributor to saving these guys. Another thing I wanted to mention, I didn't intend to have the pots in here, these little terracotta pots. These guys are really cave dwellers as far as breeding goes. The male will chase a female into the cave similar to the way a pleco does, and they'll go in there, deposit their eggs, and take care of the fry. These guys, even though they're licorice fish and they have the ability to gulp air from the surface of the water, they don't use their labyrinth as often as a betta or other gouramis. Even though they can tolerate very low pH, I think that, in my opinion, because they're so shy and so small, they rather just use their gills. All licorice fish have the ability to draw oxygen through their gills. Their labyrinth does not completely support them as far as oxygen goes, but it does help them live in some pretty low oxygen environments, just like puddles or slow moving streams. But yeah, it's just that one gourami that we see in here. And I promise you, I'm seeing the tail of the other gourami, but I know my camera is not going to pick that up. That gourami is where my thumb is, and I can see where his tail is poking out, but my camera just won't pick up on that, so I'm trying to focus on the gourami that is moving. So this is my gourami tank. Like I said, I didn't intend to put them in this 20 long. I was hoping to just keep them in a 10 gallon, but honestly, after going back and looking at my notes that I made about this fish, like I said, I've been wanting this fish since 2 years ago. I'm not going to tell you any age right there, but I'm very happy that I have them. I'm bummed out that this isn't the tank for them, and I'm glad that I was able to put them in a 20 long when I originally thought that I could put them in a 10 gallon tank, but slowly I think that they'll acclimate to their environment, especially once I start adding those catappa leaves and such in here and get this tank really planted. And like I said, my intention was to keep one side of the tank lit and then the other side dark. I think I still want to do that just because I feel like the darker side gives them more sense of security. I do need some floating plants here as well, and I'll get to that much sooner. I do want to start my Pacman frog project, which is going to be a 20 long as well. That tank is probably going to take me 3 to 4 months to complete, um, but I have to move my focus back to this tank, which wasn't my intention, and then also go back to the 60 gallon, which a lot has changed in that tank, but we're not going to talk about that today. But thank you guys so much for watching my video, supporting my channel. Drop some information on what you know about licorice gouramis. I'm not new to the care and keeping of these guys. I'm new to actually keeping these guys, and I feel like I made the mistake of buying them before I got their tank set up, and they do seem to be doing well so far. I've seen them eat at night because I feed them when the other tanks turn off. So I do know they're eating. It's just they're a little bit skinny. And yeah, I've made the mistake of buying these guys, but I think they're doing very well. I think that they're going to be very interesting fish in my collection.